Hello, I'm just going to have this, this is rooibos tea with vanilla and strawberry. I think this one is actually um, fair trade tea, and it tastes really good. Rooibos is quite, I wouldn't say it's like a sweet tea, but it's still like more, has like a warmer kind of tea taste, and it's very nice together with something like vanilla and strawberry. So I have 3 different plants, and because I kind of shifted my location when it comes to where I'm staying, and even if I have like a place where I'm like living, I don't I tend to travel, so I'm going to different places, and my plants, they do not survive under my care because I'm not constantly in one place. So I might be away for 2 weeks or something, and then I'm back, and during that time the plants, they don't really survive it. So I figure, first of all, I love the desert, and that means also I like desert plants and more like dry, plants that doesn't require so much attendance when it comes to water. So I try to find such plants, with that in mind, because I do like, to have plants around me. So I figure I'm going to show what I actually end up with, And I hope these plants are going to last even when I will be away for a few weeks. Because they are more like succulents, and they may only need water every other week or something, so these are maybe going to survive, hopefully. So the first one, this is actually a plant I have had quite a few times in the past when I've been living somewhere. This one, does it have a name? It says, I think this one is called Hedera, or maybe it's the company that has produced it, I don't know, or like grown this plant. But this one is like this kind of plant that's going to get really long branches and stretch across all the place. So I figure if I'm away and I'm not going to be around taking care of it too much, this one is probably, it's going to grow in the meantime, so it will get longer branches, and then end up like, climbing around on some shelves and stuff, But I do think this one is going to need some more water than the other plants that I'm going to show. But why I do like this one is because the leaves are really deep green, the color, and also they are kind of smaller leaves, so it has this kind of nice plant, for indoor cultivation, and especially since you get a lot of plant for a small pot, because these branches are going to stretch however long they will grow, as depending on how long you will keep the plant. So hopefully this one is going to take up a lot of space eventually, and currently it's just like a smaller plant, So that was the first one. Very nice, I would say. So the second one, I will take this one. Now I do like plants that have some kind of, that you can use them for something more than just that they're looking nice around. And I do like, as I said, desert, kind of more tropical weather, and just places and plants. So let's see here. Like I always been quite interested in aloe vera, and I've been using a lot of skincare that has aloe vera, and there is even these supplements that you can take with aloe vera in. So this is Aloe Vera, and I'm so happy that I found this plant because this was the only one that they had in the store, and it was very cheap, this whole plant, and the leaves are really like, you can feel like it's kind of jelly water in here, you know. So this one is perfect. I do not know how this one is going to cope with the climate, like the indoor climate, and especially the exposure to the sun, because there's not so much sun currently over here. But my grandma, she had one of these in her house because like some of my cousins, they have a flower shop, so my grandma, she had received one of these kinds of aloe vera, and it had really grown quickly in her house, you know. And she doesn't have any kind of you know, the weather is very cloudy and it's never almost sunny there, and it was like huge. And she didn't, I mean, if you are ensuring that the aloe vera plant is kind of eco cultivated, or how you would say, then I think you can actually cut off some of these branches, and you can actually use the gel inside of it for like skincare. But make sure that it's like a pure plant before you do that. I mean, this leaf is kind of, it has sort of been damaged because it sort of have curvation here. It's like kind of, I don't know, it might have been squished by something, you know. However, this pot is really tiny, and compared to this plant, so I think this one is in the need of being repotted. And it also has, the roots are poking out here underneath. So I think I need to repot this one, which was not what I was intending when I was purchasing it, but you know, for all of this plant, it was a really good price, and if I need to repot it, well, I will just have to do it. But this one, I mean, even if the aloe vera is kind of, you know, water-filled branches, I mean, it doesn't need that much water. I mean, if you give this one water every now and then, it's going to sustain itself quite well, because it can store a lot of water in these branches. And also, I think if you're watering it every now and then, I mean, these branches are going to get bigger, and like you will get more leaves that will sort of branch out here underneath the plant surrounding it. So that means it's going to be able to store more and more water, you know. So I'm very happy about this one, because this is like a perfect spa, Bali, Zen type of plant. I love these kinds of aloe vera plants. I had like a huge aloe vera plant that I got in Dubai, and I had it in a place where I was living for some time. And unfortunately, once I was switching my location over there, I left that plant, but it was like, it got really big, and I don't think I'm going to have that big aloe vera plant in any time soon, at least. And the final one, also in this kind of brown shaped bag. This is, I have quite a, I love succulents, so this is kind of for that reason. And okay, now for anyone who likes succulents, this is like the dream plant, because look at this. I'm going even to try and let's see if I can show it a little bit better. You see all of these small succulents. Like, this is, to me, this reminds me quite a lot of some yoga kind of place, and like Bali, and just like these lotus leaves that, you know, is quite popular in the yoga context. I think this one is quite dry, however, this plant, because it's almost coming out of the pot. Oh goodness, it's super dry. I think I need to give this one some water. But the funny thing is, I don't know how this thing is going to continue growing, because it's like, as you can tell, it has like already all of these small succulents on it, and there are like these baby succulents poking up here and there. And I don't know if, I think I need to repot honestly this one as well, because if I repot it, I think it's going to spread out and continue growing, because as it's looking now, it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of a overstuffed succulent pot. So also I think what's possible, but I should probably ask like my aunt, who is a florist, she works with flowers, because I think you can like cut off some of these. And I don't know, because succulents, I heard that you can, and I have actually tried it, but I didn't succeed with it. But you are supposed to be able to cut off a leaf, like a thick leaf, and then you sleeve it on some tissue or something for, I think, up to 2 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong with this, but and then after that period of time, when it's sort of starting to get some roots, you should be able to plant it just in some very little, you know, soil, and then it will start to grow, and it will grow out a whole like full plant. But so this one, I don't know if I just could, you know, cut off some, maybe I should try it, cut off some of these small plants over here, and then see if they, you know, start getting some roots and stuff, because this one was like also not at all expensive, I must say. This one was very cheap, but I was surprised that you got so many small succulents for this price, you know. And I asked the ladies who were selling these if these are supposed to be indoor plants, and they were like, yeah, you can keep it indoor, but and also to not give them water so often. And also, I don't know about the weather, like how are these plants going to sustain in kind of cloudy weather conditions, you know, because I heard if succulents are, you know, exposed to kind of hard climates and like weather conditions, then it will show up on the leaves, so they will get like reddish kind of colors on their leaves. But this one looks like it has had quite good you know, climate conditions wherever it has been growing recently, but probably not over here where I am at. But yeah, it would be nice, however, to kind of repot some of these small succulents, because there is this huge, can I show you this one? It's like a huge, oh, it's not even going to show. You see there's like this huge succulent in the middle, and then there are these tiny ones coming up here on the top. So this was like kind of some garden work, you know, like flower pot work, you know, that probably I need to solve it. So so I think all these plants, if I can show you again like a little bit better, let's see. Yeah, so I think all of these plants are going to sustain themselves quite well indoors, and hopefully they do not need that much attendance, because I had like some other plants and they were just like not really enjoying being indoors. So that was it. And yeah, I'm gonna finish this tea, and I'm going to do some, yeah, I have to go to the university and do some studies and stuff now. So bye bye.